Hello, World of Tank Blitzers. It's Littlefinger, and today I am doing a full tank review on the ARL V39. This is a French tank destroyer at tier 6, and you can see it here in the garage. It's kind of a neat looking tank. Was not expecting this to be as good as it is. Let's take a quick look here at the tech tree, and we'll talk about where we've come from with this tank. You know, we're on the French line here, and at the top row, the UE-57, the SAU-40, both of those were painful tanks in my opinion. And then you get to the bathtub there with the S-35CA, which was a fun tank to drive just because the gun was so good. And so I had mixed emotions about this ARL V39, but really taken a liking to it. It does have pretty good mobility, but it's only got 60 millimeters of frontal armor. So as far as TDs go, it's still in the fragile state. One of the things that I'm looking forward to moving up to the AMX AC-46 is we've got 120 millimeters of frontal sloped armor, so that's going to be a tough tank to penetrate there if you can keep your enemies in front of you. So the French guns have been good. I really don't have too much to complain about on this tank other than that huge commander's hatch there at the top, which is definitely a big target when you're trying to get hull down. Just some quick characteristics here on this tank. We've got 900 hit points. We come in at 26.5 tons, and we do have a nice speed limit there of 45 kilometers per hour. Taking a look at this top gun of the 105 millimeter, 7.3 rounds per minute, and our average pen is 165 and our average damage is 310. So some really good numbers there for tier 6. And as we scroll down to the bottom there, traverse speed 41.2, so it's right in line with the rest of the TDs at the tier low to mid 40s as far as your traverse speed. Taking a look at the setup here, I am running Camouflage Heroic Warrior, which came from Clan Wars, and consumables running repair kits, multi-purpose, and adrenaline, provisions running hot coffee, protective kit, and improved fuel. Ammunition, you can see here, about 50 rounds of AP, 20 rounds of APCR, not that I ever needed that much, and reminder, you can purchase that with credits by clicking on that shell price button, and just about 10 rounds of HE. As far as equipment goes, our pen numbers are real good with this tank, so don't worry about calibrated shells. Go with your gun rammer and get that slightly faster reload time. Now, vitality, you know, this one I'm not too sure about for this tank specifically, but in general, lately on the tanks, I've been running the defense system, and that seems to be working pretty well. And then, of course, as we are a TD, you're going to get the full benefit of a camouflage net with the 7% added to visibility when you're moving, and then that's doubled when you're stationary. And as your TD, that is going to probably occur quite frequently. Not even going to talk about the rest of these. Don't even think about spending spare parts on this tank. Alright guys, so here we are. We've got blitzstars.com pulled up using their tank compare section. ARL on the left, Jagdpanzer, Nashorn, AT-8, Hellcat, and SU-100. And as you can see, for our damage per minute, just over 2,000 there. We are right in the middle. Nothing's going to touch the buffs that have been recently implemented on the Jagdpanzer, so that one's kind of off the charts right now. I would imagine that's being brought back into the realm of normalcy here in a future update or two. But anyway, as you can see, you know, a lot of those tanks there are in the 1700s, 1800s, so we're a little bit above that. Penetration numbers there, 165, close to the top, and then our alpha is certainly close to the top outside of the SU-100. 850 for our shell velocity is very good. No issues in game, in my opinion, with that on that 105 millimeter gun. Aim time was a little bit slow. You do have to be a little extra patient there with it, but obviously nowhere near as bad as the SU-100. So it's workable in my opinion. Dispersion numbers are all pretty much right in line with each other. Our gun depression is only 6 degrees of negative gun depression. Again, just be careful on hills. You're going to run into issues there, but for the most part, 6 degrees is workable. You've got 7 degrees of aiming arc before you have to move the tank and reset your camo net. So that's 7 degrees each direction, 14 total. So if we move down to movement and mobility, you can see here we're at 45 kilometers per hour. That's right in line with some of the other tanks there. It's certainly not the fastest or the slowest. Obviously, we've got the AT-8 there. But I didn't feel like this tank had too much problem as far as accelerating or climbing hills or turning radius. It just seemed like it moved pretty well. So looking at credit coefficient there, 108, it's right in line with the rest here. View range 253, again right in the middle. So you can see as we go through these stats on paper, this tank falls right in the middle. Hull armor there at 60. Again, right in the middle there. Jagdpanzer at 80. SU at 75. Nashorn with only 30, and the Hellcat with only 13. So keep that in mind as you play the tank. Stats on these are okay. Average damage over the last 90 days is 952. So keep that in mind as you play the tank, and let's strive to best those numbers. All right, guys, first game in the ARL V39 on Dead Rail. We are top tier, and I am going to push to the right and hopefully get some support from my teammates. Obviously, right here on the corner behind this rock, there's a nice little bush that you can use for cover. And Mr. T21 thinks that he's going to YOLO straight into all of our tanks. So we'll go ahead and push forward and get our second shot into him. I'm going to back behind the bush here. Look at this, a little bit of a long aim time there, but we'll get a shot in. We'll get a shot a few times by that Leo as we're backing up. But I just want you to be aware of how I use this rock for protection. Most of my tank is hiding behind it, and then when I shoot, I pull all the way behind it so that I can't be shot. So even though it's only for a few seconds, it gets the opponents looking elsewhere, and we'll go ahead and get our first kill. So now we're just kind of being patient, seeing how the game unfolds a little bit. I know that Leo's up there. T-3045 is a new tank to come through here. And you can see how I've backed behind the rock, and that Leo has no shot at me now. Quite a variation in the amount of damage in this game between shots. I mean, it varies between 275 and 330, somewhere in there. But we've got our second kill now. And here comes the Leo. It's a little shame here. We get him in the track and don't do any damage, and he repairs it quickly. But fortunately, we're able to finish him off. We've got the Kuro across the map there. Be patient with the aim time. 307. Was hoping to get real lucky, shoot underneath the train, but that didn't work. So Churchill's going to be a little aggressive here and pull out on the side, and sure enough, we can finish him off, no problem. And now it's just a Kuro left. I'll speed it up here just because my team finishes them off before I can even get there. But we were able to hold that corner, do quite a bit of damage there. 3,114, that was good for mastery. 4 kills. And it was really a game of patience. Okay, so here's another game. Fort Despair this time. We are, again, top tier. And I'm just looking at the makeup of our team and seeing that they are headed left. So you can see our speed here allows us to keep up almost with the mediums and lights. But what I want to do is get to the far corner here, as close to the edge line as possible, hoping that I can not get spotted. But I do, and as soon as I do, I'm going to pull forward and get behind this rock, having taken my shot. Letting my camo reset, and then cautiously pulling out again. And they are all sitting down there, which is very nice for us. Just need some spots. And that's the thing with the TD. It can often be very team dependent. If you've got a team of lights and mediums that aren't out there spotting for you, and you've got to be the one to do that, as well as be flexible, it's kind of difficult to do. But you can see in this game, since I don't have spots, I am just taking just random speculative shots. We've got a couple nice high rolls there, over 300 each. And they are now hiding behind that rock. It's probably about time to close in on them. Should have just headed to that ARL down there, but got distracted by the type. But here he is, making a run for it. And one of the things I do like about this tank is, you see, we take that shot. We were on the move, didn't really aim, and it still went in. And here's another shot that's going to be on the move. Obviously a little bit closer in, but again, it pretty much goes right where you want it to, which is why I don't have any complaints whatsoever with this gun. You see there, we did 1843 in damage, 2 kills, and landed 7 shots. So speaking of crazy shots on the move, I just wanted to throw this one in. 200 yards away, AMX running full speed up on the hill, very little even to see. I'll slow this down. We are going to aim just above that ridge line and take our shot there and somehow manage to get 300 damage. Alright, one more game as top tier. Excuse me, Yamato Harbor. We've got quite a contingent of heavies, so I'm expecting them to pull off to the right here. So we'll follow them. And I'm just going to stay towards the back. Hoping not to get spotted back here. Difficulty is obviously getting shots in between all of those heavies. So here we are. It's, you know, a little bit difficult. You can see tanks pulling out in front of me. You've got items in front. And that's when I noticed they have flanked, and they have flanked hard. So here I am on the outskirts of this map, knowing I've got 3 or 4 tanks coming around this way. Should be a situation where our heavies can push their heavies, and so my thought is, you know, me and the S35CA there, we can hold this corner and protect our flank, as it were. So he's moved up and he's gotten some spots in. Waiting to see that aim come down, and then I'd wanted to check to see what the HE looked like. We almost ran off the map there. So my help has been taken out, so it's just me now. Taking a couple speculative shots there and missed on both occasions. Having trouble. I can't back up any further than that. Those sheds are not protection, guys. You can shoot right through those, so just word of warning. And now I am down to 1 shot. Got 3 more tanks around me here, and we're gonna get this one loaded, track him, and he's gonna shoot and miss. And fortunately for us, we will get reloaded and finish him off. That was quite fortunate. And here comes the VK. See if we can't get that track, and he's gonna pull around, get shot, and we almost reloaded, and he almost missed that. That was in a very steep angle. Anyway, I'll speed this up because these guys finished it off. And you can see we held the corner there using our nimbleness to kind of hug around those buildings. We did 1734 in damage. 7 shots penetrated there. Alright guys, here's a game. We are bottom tier, and you can see we've got a Weak and Venom platoon together on the red team as top tier. So I know this is going to be a difficult game. Look like the team and the call there is to go left. And so I'm just going to be patient. And getting shoved from behind, so instead of trying to play nice, I'll just sit here a while and then back up. See if this guy gets the hint, which he's not going to. So we'll just move on. But stuff like that really irritates me in the game. So here he is back on my tail again, blocking me, moving me. Just go play your own game, dude. Just leave me alone. And I'm just going to leave this game on 2x just because it is a long game. And you can see here we're getting some nice shots in from the deep parts of the map, and that AMX came in and spotted me and took a shot, so we're going to drop down. And then relocate. Trying to keep these guys from coming all the way back here. We get a nice shot into the IS. One more. We should finish him off. Sure enough. We are down a tank at this point in time. And I don't even know where I got shot from there. But 3 minutes, 30 seconds left in the game. And our ARL with the wrong turret has been sitting in the back here. Bothers me also with tanks that have really good armor. He's sitting in the back. But obviously he must be grinding on that tank because he's got the wrong turret on it. I think we got fortunate there. Looked like a shot had come in. And just trying to be patient here, hoping someone spots up. And now it's 3-on-2. Get a shot into the T-29 as he rolls across. Missing that shot on the back of the AT. But we get him tracked and finish him off. So now it's 2-on-1. There's only 40 seconds left. I'm a one-shot to a T-29. So I'm going to go up this hill and we're going to cross paths, so to speak. And you know what? I'm just going to play a little hide and seek, really. I can't finish him off. I see he's shot, so I'm going to turn around, bounce a shot, and then go back and hide. But no point in me getting killed. We did 2,000 damage. We did more than our share there in that game, and yet it wasn't enough. But it was a fun game. Alright, bottom tier again, Winter Malinovka. Wasn't sure which way their team would be going. Got a fairly decent mix of tanks, mostly heavies. So I'm okay with this team pushing to the left here. And one of the spots I like to go to when I'm in a medium or light tank is right in here behind this bush. And I wanted to see if it would work for a TD. Obviously, you're not as nimble. You can't turn that turret and get shots on down there by that VK and whatnot. But you do have shots through that little alleyway right there. We barely missed that first one. And the nice thing about this area is it really lets you get tucked in and hide at AMX. You know, I just don't understand why people completely YOLO in. I mean, do you just hit exit and next game? Is that really what happens there? Anyway, we'll get the Tiger coming through. And I still want to get a shot on this T-21, who doesn't even know I'm here yet. So this is when I see that KV-2 lurking over there. So I got to keep an eye on him because he could probably one-shot me. T-29 is going to show just enough. I've got at least one tank behind me. Yeah, I'm going to take my chances with the VK there. KV's coming at me. And that's when I get shot from behind by the Kuro. So I make a split-second decision to face the Kuro and drive kind of away from the KV. It's disappointing here. This bottom shot, that last shot, just went into his track and didn't really do any damage. But, you know, we're distracting the team at this point in time. We're tanks up, and I've got 2-on-1. So fairly easy for our team here to come in and finish this game off. So we'll watch this KV completely not aim. Kuro does come in here, but you know, these guys are not focused on the low health tank. That's one of the things that drives me crazy. But we were far enough up that it didn't matter. And now I'd like to say that part of that was because of my positioning there. I was able to be top damage on the team. Get 7 shots in. And you can see we spotted all but one of their tanks. So it's a good spotting location if you're a light or medium. Seems to work pretty good if you're a mobile TD. Alright, so here's the last game I'm going to show, this time on Desert Sands. And it's not a great game for me personally from a damage perspective, but it's a good teamwork game and it's a good map awareness game, and so I just wanted to point out a few things during this game. So we've got a team that's basically split. Our 3 mediums have headed out to the dunes, and we've got some heavies headed to the right into the buildings. 447 meters away, we get a nice, very accurate shot. So you can see here that they're all over there by their spawn in the desert, and I see this tiger's over here, and I figure there's one other tank over here, and we've got 3 tanks. So I'm gonna move in and allow these guys to push in and take them. Obviously they've got an advantage here, but they're not really working well together. They should all just move in on one tank and finish him off and then take out the other tank. So a little bad driving on my part as I run into the wall there, but I'm just going to be aggressive and come around the corner here, and once that tiger backs into the corner, I'm just going to hold him there. I'm going to reload. I'm going to take 1 shot from him, and I was hoping that someone would be able to finish him off. End up taking another shot from the ARL. So you know, I've helped this team push in, and now I know that ARL is looking at me. He wants a kill. He's staring at me. So as soon as I see the hit points go down on the IS, I know it's free for me to come in, take my shot, and back to safety. And again, you know, he's going to be focusing on me. I'm a 1-shot, easy kill. This game is pretty much over when we finish him off. But, you know, being able to crash in on that map and flip the the strengths there on the heavy side, I think really kind of twisted the game in our favor. Not to mention the work by our Panther and Dracula out in the dunes. So as you saw, this tank is fairly mobile. I think I illustrated just how accurate this gun is. You know, I certainly do not have any complaints. Not like playing a Russian tank where you perfectly aimed in and then that shot just goes way off. You have no idea. This gun was good. Mobility is average on this tank, and obviously the armor is lacking, but as we move up to the next tier, I think that's going to improve. So I'm looking forward to that, and hope you guys have learned a few things about this tank, and stay safe out there, get educated, not fingered. Littlefinger out.